Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast, a daily show where I discuss news, nonsense, and my personal adventures. Late night of podcasting last night as I was hanging out with Christian and Don. Don, a new pal in the podcast scape. Don Jameson. Now, I don't know anything about anything. So I'm like, okay, what are we doing? It was another edition of Who Are These Broadcasters? We did it early because third wheel Don, and I don't mean that in an insulting way, was like, I can't do it in any other time. So we did it yesterday. And it was our Halloween edition. Part of the Halloween show was hearkening back to 40 plus years ago when Keith was interviewed on the Tom Snyder Show. And on Halloween night, 1970, whatever, in full makeup, and Ace and Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, the guitar player, and Peter Criss, the drummer, were hammered. And Gene and Paul were not. It was described as Gene and Paul were the mom and dad while the kids were acting up. And it was just fantastic. Don has just a fantastic comedic career. You featured on VH1, and he's hanging out with people like Eddie Trunk and Jim Florentine and all those other rockin' comedians. You know, that's the type of thing where you show up to like a metal show. Hold on. Darla. No. She's starting to hump already. And then the opening act is Don Jameson. Anyway. Kyler checks in. Hello to you. It's been a while. Nice to have some color in the audience. Glad you are here. So that was a late night for your old pal Easy podcasting. But it's cool. It's cool. Something to do. That's what I do. You know, it was set up to be Tuesday of this week was going to be ridiculous, where I do this show and then the Patreon show and then that show and then a Compound Media show. That is in the neighborhood of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plus hours of talking into this microphone. What the hell? But that's what we do in the podcast community, is we help each other out. The compound shows are it's interesting because I'll do it with Kyler, and no matter what we are talking about, there's going to be a portion of the audience who will hate you. They're used to one host, and then you bring someone new in, and then because humans are finicky souls, they're like, oh, fuck this shit. I am not listening to this shit. Same thing on Who Are These Broadcasters? We started out that show weeks ago, and Carl from Who Are These Podcasts was on a few of the first episodes. And then his intention all along was to just get us up and going, and then he's going to bug out. It's his show, but he's just the executive producer. So as soon as we start doing it without him, which, you know, we're obviously capable of doing, people are like, oh, fuck this shit. I'm like, eh. And then they'll actually let you know in the comments how much you suck. Like, you just be sitting there minding your own business, talking about whatever, and all of a sudden, you know, they punch you right in the nose. It's fantastic. Fortunately, your old pal EZ's rhino skin, my Iron Man armor has to be donned. And Taylor Swift just says, shake it off. You know? All Taylor Swift all the time, for God's sake. But still, fantastic weekend. I left the house once. Well, Friday had a hockey game, and I think I want to start there, actually, because this was the most ridiculous thing in 18 years of PA announcing for this team that I have ever seen. All you need to know is that for 57 of the 60 minutes of this game in regulation, the Griffins are taking on the Cleveland Monsters. Not a lot of you wake up and say, boy, I sure hope he starts talking about American Hockey League highlights. The other team got called for a penalty with about 3 minutes to go, the Cleveland Monsters. So we yanked the goalie to give us a two-man advantage, and we hadn't done shit the whole game. Leading up to this moment, occasionally a fan would throw a foam puck out onto the ice. The foam pucks are brought to us because you buy a foam puck for $1, and then when it lands, after the game, they put a target up, and you throw the pucks out onto the ice. It's called throw for dough. If the puck lands on the target, you win a pile of money. And also, in 18 years, no one has won the pile of money. No one. Every once in a while, someone will throw a foam puck out onto the ice, and you pick it up and say, all right, hey, knock it off, knock it off. Well, the ref picks up the foam puck, and he wants me to make an announcement, so he's skating towards me. I'm already going to, because typically when I see it land, it's bouncing along on the ice. I'm like, hey, don't throw, fans, let you know, please do not throw anything out onto the ice. It's dangerous for the players, looks bad, and we can be penalized. And that's true. Now, I've never seen at that point our team or any team called for an actual penalty because of fans throwing things on the ice. A little bit of time passes. Another one lands on the ice. Ref picks it up. I'm already making my announcement. Fans, please, a little bit more urgent. It delays the game. It messes things up. And this is the players' playing surface. We don't want, nothing can be thrown onto the ice. Also, at the start of the game, there's a long-winded announcement that I make about throwing things on the ice. Don't throw anything on the ice. And actually, there is something in the rule book about throwing hats. It's actually allowed in the symbolic effort to recognize the hat trick if you throw your hat on the ice. It's all good. Tim Kuiper was there with Zeke. He says, didn't we get a similar penalty during the Calder Cup playoffs? Well, I don't recall that. I don't remember. But anyway, penalty on the other team. We pull the goalie. We score. It's 2-1. And, there's 2 minutes to go. So we drop the puck again at center ice for the faceoff. We pull our goalie again. Sebastian Cossa. And the Griffs are buzzing around the net, and they score. It's under a minute. There's like 35 seconds left, and the Griffs score to tie it. So it's just, hockey's a fucking weird fucking game like that. You can get just shut down for 9.5%, or 95.5%, 99% is what I'm trying to say, of the game. And then all of a sudden you put it together and boom. Now it's tied. And we're like, holy shit. But the second the Griffins score, many, many foam pucks come raining down from the stands. The ref, I can see the look in his eye. He's going to call a penalty. I can see it. And he's skating over to me. He puts his face up to the hole in the glass. He goes, I got to do it. I'm calling a bench minor. We go, oh, no. So the fans are going ape shit. And I'm like, fans, we've just received a bench minor penalty. And then, like, only half the fans get the message because the horn's going off. They're playing the celebration song. We're going to get penalized. I said, we're getting a bench minor penalty. The Griffins bench erupts. They're pissed, and they're pissed at the ref. But you see, it's a very clear rule. And he's given so much leniency. And the coach of the other team is just like, yeah, well, you better. If you don't, that's it. If the ref didn't call that, he was going to get in trouble by the league. He had to call it. So we call a bench minor penalty. While they're playing the celebratory song, I said to our guy, Brandon, the director, I go, dude, kill the music. I got to make an announcement. I got to do this. And I actually, fans, please, blah, 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 blah. We have just been called for a bench minor penalty. And I'm breaking that wall. I'm saying, instead of just like, come on, fans, I'm actually talking into the mic like I am right now. I'm no longer announcer. Were you Eric Tootie or Eric Sander? I need to know what person you were. Whatever. Shut up. So I'm like, fans, and you can tell I'm annoyed. And now we've got now we have to kill a penalty. We kill it for 30 seconds and the game regulation ends. We go to overtime. Tyler writes, I feel like that rule is kind of iffy. Who's to say a fan from the opposing team doesn't throw shit on the ice to get their team a power play? It's a great point. Wonderful point. Don't have an answer. However, come on. It's American Hockey League hockey. And these are drunk hockey fans. First of all, I doubt we've got a ton of fans making the big trip from the opposing teams, even though it was only Cleveland. I think the bigger problem is drunk college fucks. Don't forget, this is $2 beer, $2 dog night. And these broke-ass motherfuckers are getting shit-faced. That's what's going on. Overtime starts. Now, typically, in overtime, you lose 2 skaters per team. You go from a 5-on-5 even strength. It goes to 3-on-3 even strength. Totally different game. It's a possession game. All right? And these games usually end in a odd man rush and a goal. Rarely do they end in no scoring, which leads to a shootout. We're down a man. Now, in overtime, where it goes 3-on-3, you don't lose a man to go to 3-on-2. The other team gains a man. So now it's 4-on-3, and one of their guys winds up a shot, hits one of our players, and fucks him up. So he's laying there in the ice going, ah! So now it's like 4-on-2. Adding insult to the injury, they then stuff it in the net. Game over. Cleveland wins, and it's the fans' fucking fault. Fuck you. Whoever did this, fuck off. So then, prior to that, I announced, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, every puck has a number, and every number is attached to a name. And we will be pursuing action. I don't even know what I said. I don't know what they even did. All I'm trying to do is to keep them. But the damage was done at that point. They could have thrown every puck on the ice and it wasn't going to matter. It was just ugly. Never have seen that before. At least I can't remember. Tim seems to think something like that happened in the past. Might be. I fucking forget what I had for breakfast. As the fans are starting to get their shit and file out, and I know final score from Van Andel Arena. In overtime, Cleveland Monsters 3, your Grand Rapids Griffins 2. And then I actually said, and to those fans who have a good night, fans, and to those fans who threw anything on the ice, please do not come back. And I look over, and my daughter is in the stands, and she's laughing her ass off at that crack. So pissed off. I felt so bad for those guys. I mean, they could not solve their goalie all game, and they hang in, and finally, in a rush, 2 goals, only to have a bunch of Dutch assholes drunk Dutch asshole college fucks screw it all up by throwing shit on the ice. Oh, my God. So having a bird's eye view of all of this, I then leave the rink and I walk into the hockey office where there's a meeting going on. Chris says, why do they have to be Dutch? Because it's funny. Be quiet. I walk by the boss's office, and number 1 and number 2 are having a meeting, and I pass. They go, Eric. I go, oh, God, here we go. I go, yeah, what's up? How did that play out where you were? I go, well, and I told them what I told you. And so the ref skated up to you and told you. I go, oh, yeah. He gave us 3 chances. And of course, I announced it every time. He goes, yeah, we heard that. So now, I don't know what the hell they're going to do, but if it were me, you got to do that deal at between the first and second period. You got to get the pucks out of their hands before they get hammered, if you're going to do that, or just don't do it. My God. Tim says it comes down to the home arena controlling the crowds. Tyler says, I get that, but are they expecting Secret Service type of security when they'll dive in front of objects to prevent them from hitting the ice? LOL. Well, I mean, come on now. It was just a bad circumstance. Pucks in drunk people's hands. That's how it went. Not much more to say than that. Typically, this is not a problem. Just one of those things, I guess. Chris in Buffalo says, plot twist. Jackie threw a puck too. No. Can you imagine? Behavior has to be fantastic. I found out, I forgot what season it was, that I found out through the grapevine that I didn't find out when it happened right away because Diana wouldn't tell me, but I found out after the fact that Diana had actually dropped do you know who I am? Because obviously my wife, she used that at one point on someone at the arena. Don't you know who I am? And I found out about that. I was like, oh no. I go, you have any idea what you've done? Okay. I go, if you have a normal, pleasant interaction with someone, it's going to end there, and they're going to think, boy, Eric Zane's wife sure is nice. And then it's going to end there. But because you said that, and I forget the circumstances why, I don't want to get her on. She's busy right now, like probably at work. Because of you saying that story or that interaction will be relived forever. From now to the end of time. And you can never, ever utter, don't you know who I am? I can understand you think that you've got some type of play because I'm on the PA going, hey, but no. Holy cow. Thank you to Ryan. He just subscribed with Prime. He's subscribed for 12 months and currently on a 12-month streak. Now, Ryan, if you ever have a problem doing that, remember, with your keyboard, tell everybody the whole show. Tap it out that you're mad. And then if you do that, the problem will just, go away. That's how you solve it. You just bitch about it for 2 hours. I'm glad you were successful this time. But remember, if for some reason Twitch doesn't agree with you, you have to just complain about it. As long as we're on the same page, that is what we do. Ryan writes, Twitch is terrible, just terrible. It's so hard. But you have to do that like the whole show. You can't even listen to what I'm saying. You just have to continuously type it. Like 10 times in a row. That is the appropriate way to handle things. It's weird. Now someone's giving me the middle finger. Kenny, his first comment of the day is giving me the finger. Well, that's a bad. You look grumpy, Gus. Roll out of bed and start telling me to go fuck myself. That's a horrible thing to do. I don't understand that. Well, whatever. That's how you want to be. So that's basically it. The other thing I left the house for was to get food for the Eric Zane Show podcast, Slaughter the Turks Philly steak sandwiches. I keep finding things that I'm great at. I will post the recipe. Well, at least I say I will. I probably won't. Okay, for starters, they said, yeah, go ahead and get the ribeye steaks. A couple pounds of ribeye steak. So I go to Costco, and it's like $18 a pound. And I'm like, there is no fucking way I'm going to pay that much. I had no idea. I took Chris's advice and went to Aldi, which the thing about Aldi, you might be getting like horse or dog or human. But I got the cheapest shit they had. The key is freezing it for like 2 hours so that you can cut it appropriately, thinly. Cut it all up. I've got the green peppers, the red peppers, the onion. Now, a lot of these people, when they make the Philly cheesesteaks, first of all, if you go to Philadelphia and eat a cheesesteak, it's shit. The meat is dry. The cheese is Cheese Whiz. It's garbage. All right, and you're getting it in America's filthiest city. No, sir, Chris, they did not have the shaved steak. I cut up that meat super thin. It's in a bowl, ready to go. Instead of cutting lengths like strips of peppers and onion, I used my chopper, and they were diced small squares. Olive oil in the pan. Cook ever so slightly the veggies. So they're not like soggy, just a little bit of bite to them. Pull them out of there. Brown the meat. A lot of salt and pepper on the veggies, and a lot of salt on the beef to season it. Cook it all up. Okay. Meanwhile, you've got the buns. Face up. Broiler on. Any type of like butter on the face. I like to use that spray butter. It's super easy. And then you broil those so they just start to brown. Get them out of there. You make a pile of meat the same size as the bun. Put the diced cooked veggies on it. And then put a ton of provolone cheese on it. I put it all back in the frying pan. All these different piles of meat in 2 cast iron pans so everybody can get served at the same time. I'm frying fries in the fryer because I'm an expert fry maker, as you know. And then cheese melts, metal spatula, pick it all up, boom, put it right on the bun, fold it in half. There you go. Just a melty, gorgeous monstrosity of awesomeness. Absolutely fantastic. You must do this. Kristen Main says cubed steak and cheese. These aren't carne asada burritos. I didn't say I cubed the steak. I said I cubed the veggies. Okay? Mr. Hall of Fame. It was strips of steak. That's what I said. You weren't listening. At this point, I just don't trust your cooking, says Kyler. Coloring the kebabs, freezing the meat, SMH. You don't even know what you're saying. What the hell is wrong with you? You have to freeze the meat so it gets firm enough to cut, idiot. Tyler says Chris in Maine was too busy cleaning his Hall of Fame ring to actually listen to the show. If he's even in the Hall of Fame. I guess more than one person thought that I cubed the steak. I did not cube the steak, you fucking dick, Ryan asks. And even if I did, who gives a shit if I cubed the steak? I was thinking about it. I did not, but what the hell is wrong with cubing steak? Look, all you guys get in here and you just bust my fucking balls. But I'm telling you, you do what I tell you and you will make people in your life happy. God damn. It was a big hit around the EZ household. As we were all talking about the death of Matthew Perry. That one hit a lot of people hard. I don't think there's a person in the world who would dislike Matthew Perry. Found dead in the hot tub. They said drowned. Amanda says, here we go, gonna cry. Now, what's interesting about this is, like in this article, Matthew Perry's autopsy is complete, but coroner orders more tests, including toxicology. They don't know how he died. We're not sure. Well, that's weird. Because, I posted that. Whoa, big news. Matthew Perry is dead. And, well, our very own Amanda determined the cause of death rather quickly. And I'm like, well, she must know things. The absolute thoroughness of her answer made me think she was actually hot tub side when they pulled Matthew Perry out, and then she immediately did a thorough autopsy on the pool deck. Because she, well, I don't know if you know this about Amanda, but she tends to fly off at the fucking mouth before she has any idea of what actually is happening. And that is exactly what she did the other day. For example, this is how it went. Okay, I made the announcement. Dave says, is he okay? Well, you see that he's attempting the old is he okay joke, but that's a horrible attempt because it already said that he died, so that bombed. Sarah DV says, this makes me sad. Sean says, murdered? Most people are like 17. Or Eric wrote 17 Again is a great movie. Most people are like so sad. Josh said he's been all sorts of fucked up. Amanda says this wasn't from drugs directly. Now, the announcement that he died is about 8 minutes old. And I'm very impressed that Amanda has already figured this out. Josh says, seriously? And Amanda says, oh, yeah, he had a cardiac episode and he drowned. The drugs just made him sick like that. Wow, that's crazy that you have such an acumen in the medical arts. Josh says, I wonder what caused the, quote, cardiac episode. Amanda follows up. She says, the pickleball he played in the morning, I doubt he was doing drugs, but the previous drug use has put his body in an awful state. So coroners said we don't need to actually do any type of further work to determine his cause of death because Amanda in Michigan, who sells dildos, has figured it out. Matt Hubbard, with the requisite stupid right-wing bullshit response of COVID jab, which was liked by some Dutch fuck named Tom Boersma. Fuck the both of you assholes. Well, good thing Amanda was on the case, guys. Chris in Maine says she studied at Dildo U. Kenny writes, they were announcing it was a heart attack, then led to the drowning on numerous websites, but I wondered how they knew all of that already. Corey says, does she even have a hot tub? Patrick says all the greats have hot tubs. Absolutely. That's why I don't go in mine, because I drank 30 years ago. So Amanda warned me. She goes, you're weak. And if you get in the hot tub, you're going to die. Kyle says, I have a hot tub. Patrick, thank you for letting me know that I am great. Corey says, when we have a story involving butt plugs and dildos, we'll let you know, Amanda, as our expert correspondent. Tyler says, Amanda already performed an autopsy and ran toxicology testing. There is some talk about how hot tubs and jacuzzis raise your blood pressure. Now, she may be right on this. And if she is right, well, there you go. But, no one knows. And the absolutely thoroughness that how adamant she was, oh, yeah, this is what happened. I was like, just shut up. God damn. The body's fucking still in the water. They haven't even pulled him out yet. He hasn't even had time to fucking rigor. And here you are giving us the cause of death. She writes, well, no one knows. I'm just speculating. Bite me. Right. The problem is you didn't say you were speculating. You just said, oh, yeah, this is what happened. Again, if there's a problem, the first thing you have to do in the world is look to see if Amanda's talking. Ryan says, we may never know. I'm still waiting to hear what kind of kink Bob Saget was doing when he died. Amanda says, I've had an incredibly bad weekend. I needed to laugh, so thanks. Okay, great. All right. I will say this. I was watching the Today Show this morning. They talked about how, it's a nonstop battle with various substances. So Amanda may actually be right about that. I don't think I would say it with such authority, though. But the dude, as you know, put himself through the ringer. He was talking about as recent years, sobered up completely. So it would be very, very disappointing if they found anything in his system. And I think they should find out as quickly as possible and tell us. Because if they say, oh, yeah, he was fucked up, never, ever, ever trust anything an addict tells you. Ever. Including me. We are expert manipulators. and we will do whatever we can to lie to you. Never, ever trust a drunk or an addict. No matter what they say. Ever. Don't ever trust me. I'm hoping there was nothing in that guy's system because, first of all, he started like a rehab facility years ago, and then he shuttered it. And, you know, he revealed in his book that he's only been really clean and sober for a short amount of time, a few years. So that would be just a bummer. Hopefully not, though. Most people just love that guy. It was a shock. Kenny says, he really seemed to be doing so much better. I'd been meaning to get a copy of his book after seeing his TV special a while back. Seemed like it'd be a good read. And then Amanda said, it's also a good lesson because I may not be a drug addict, but I fucked my body up too. Maybe I shouldn't get a hot tub. Kyler says, I don't know. I trust Kevin when he says, are we going to bong another beer? Are we going to bong another third beer?
Are we going to beer bong another third beer?
Are we going to beer bong another third beer? Oh, no. It would have to be a fourth, right? If you've beer bonged 3 already, you can't beer bong another third.
Are we going to beer bong another third beer?
It might make you howl at the moon.
Oh.
That is the only thing I miss of Patriot Nick. Is that laugh. If he wasn't such a fucking psychopath, I'd have him back here. Oh, my God.
Y'all want to make fun of me when I get fucked up in the Zaniac Zoom?
Fuck off. I'm hammered.
Fuck, man. I'm fucking hammered. Fuck off, I'm hammered.
All right. The fuck was I going to talk about? I just had something else I wanted to mention. It's gone. It's gone like Matthew Perry. That's too bad. All right. Meanwhile, closer to home, there's a story that I've been following since January. Now, if you live where I live, this is something you're actually living right now, and that is this county, which is known now around the world for its backward decision-making, Ottawa County, where a bunch of locals got pissed off because their kids had to wear masks in school. And then they went ahead, organized, pooled their money, formed a group called Ottawa Impact. And 7 of the commission seats were won by members of this ragtag bunch of people. 7 of the 11 commission seats. They immediately disbanded the Department of Equity and Inclusion office and said, we don't need that. Then they changed the county's motto from where you belong to let freedom ring. And then, you start, this is kind of like the elevation of the culture war. A lot of anti-gay rhetoric, shit like that. Less on the equality, more on the freedom and the patriotism and all that shit, which are completely bastardized terms. one of the things they also wanted to do was fire the health director. This is the lady, Adeline Hambley. Love the hair, by the way. Just love the hair. She was part of the previous regime that was so soundly defeated by all of these Ottawa Impact people who they have to like sign an agreement that they will uphold the tenets of their organization. One of them, which was a guy named Jacob Bonema, a Republican, who after a short period of time of realizing that working with this group as a newly elected official, he realized that they were drunk with power and he had to distance himself from them. So he did. So that means they now have 6 of the 11. He's still there, but he's been basically cut out of everything. Doesn't really have any decision-making power because it's still a majority. 6 of the 11 are these Ottawa Impact scumbags, including the county chair. His name is Joe Moss. So they didn't like this Hambley chick because she, was part of the previous administration. So they want to fire her. She tried to prevent that from happening through the courts. One of the stunts that Ottawa Impact did when it came down to budget time was they slashed their budget by millions of dollars. All right. And that was the only thing that they really made a cut on in the budget was that. That money goes to, paying people for outreach, food pantries, food distribution, health of underprivileged families and kids, various things like measles, mumps, rubella, pertussis, meningitis, stuff we've talked about before on this show, and the various expenses that go along with running the health department. Not to mention checking on restaurants and foods and things like that, make sure that everything is up to speed within the county. That's what you have a health department for. Well, they slashed her budget to next to nothing. Now, this is where she did something that I guess is fireable. She went onto social media and expressed how devastating this would be if this came to fruition. And the board said, well, finally we got you because you kind of went out of the chain of command and talked publicly about this. And then she didn't produce a budget with the parameters that they had put out there, which is impossible. It's all bullshit. This is all an attempt by them to get her to fuck up, which I guess she did, so that they can fire her. And today is the day, after all of the injunctions and restraining orders have been denied and shit like that. Today, they finally will board. The board will finally vote. It may have already happened. And then this chick will be out. Adam describes it as revenge politics. Exactly. As this has unfolded, that's when I started doing Who Are These Ottawa County Fascists? Which we've only done 2 episodes, and we really need to do more. It's of the audio and video of all these crazy-ass commission meetings where these psychopaths get together and spout their rhetoric and their bullshit. And on and on and on. Now, one of the people that has spoken at those meetings is a guy by the name of Nathan Kelly. Him and his loudmouth, fat-ass wife, Kristen Megan Kelly. Nathan is the guy, like if Nathan worked for Joe Martinez and you paid $79 to have Joe Martinez tune up the furnace, well, while Joe is going to Mexico, he would make someone like Nathan show up at your house and tune your furnace. Well, Joe Moss is friends with this piece of shit. All right? And said, okay, after we fire Adeline Hambley, you are going to be the new health director. So a guy whose knowledge base extends to like putting a new furnace filter in is going to lead the health department. Holy shit. Tyler writes, I love how news outlets describe it as the board will decide on Monday, as if they haven't already decided this months ago. Oh, my God. And then the wife, the fat ass KMK, she works in janitorial services. Like, honest to God, if the kid pukes in the school, they call her, and she's out back having a smoke, and she has to get the sawdust and put it on the puke. All right? And she is constantly telling everybody, she'll show up at these meetings, and no matter what she's talking about, she will announce to the crowd that she is a veteran. Well, as you know, she got pissed off at something I said when I made fun of her stupid kid. And then she started calling all of my sponsors. This is the wife of the dumb fuck who is going to be the new health director. And this is what she said to all of my sponsors. She called up and said something like this.
Hi, my name is Kristen Megan Kelly. I'm the veteran, and I'm the veteran. I believe I've called and left a message earlier today. I'm the veteran. I'm just trying to get some feedback from whoever would be in charge. I'm the veteran in making the decision to sponsor the Eric Zane podcast. I'm the veteran. I am the mother. I'm the veteran of a child that he spoke about on his podcast. I'm the veteran in a sexual manner. I'm the veteran, including sex acts that he wants my veteran to perform. I've had the sheriff involved. Several sponsors have already backed out. And I'm the veteran. I believe in nonviolent free market solutions.
I called my buddy who's a deputy in this county. I go, yeah, dude, she's saying she got the sheriff involved. He had to put the phone down. He was laughing so hard. He goes, yeah, we don't patrol Facebook. What the? No, don't worry about it, you idiot.
Solutions. I'm the veteran, so I greatly support free speech. I'm the veteran, but this is not protected speech. I'm the veteran when discussing sexual acts of a veteran. I'm the veteran. It was an attack on me and my family, and I'm the
Yes, it sure was.
Veteran. It's one thing to have an opinion of adults, but again, it's not protected speech to speak sexually about a 7-year-old girl.
I guess it is, because nothing's happened to me.
I'm the veteran. If you would like to see the evidence, and I have seen on social media someone is messaging people to not talk about it. I'm the veteran, but they want your business to know that your name is slapped behind the screen when he's saying these
things. BC Pizza.
I'm the veteran. You can call me if you'd like. My number is area code 405.
405.
694.
694.
834.
834. Beep. I had to beep it so that she wouldn't be, doxxed. You don't want that to happen.
I'm the veteran, but I would really like to know if your business supports this type of rhetoric. Area code 405 694
834 beep.
I'm the veteran, and I'm the veteran. I would just like to hear back from you. Thank you very much for your understanding and your time. I'm the veteran. Thanks.
Wow. Okay. I'll say this. When they ran in Ottawa County, I didn't know what this was. I didn't know what the signs meant when it said Ottawa Impact. I didn't know who Joe Moss was. I didn't know any of these other names that are part of that group. I remember running when I used to be able to run and seeing all the signs everywhere. Ottawa Impact, Ottawa Impact, Ottawa Impact. For the next election, it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And I don't know how often they have elections for county government, but I'm really stoked. Joe Spalding is the guy who's been on the show. He's been one of the many volunteers who spearheaded the movement to recall Lucy Ebel, one of the Ottawa County, I should say Ottawa Impact scumbags. If they get her out, it'll be 5 Ottawa Impact members, which means they will no longer have a majority in the county. By the way, county politics are not supposed to be so partisan. Normally, county politics is supposed to involve like allocating state funds to for what reason? Roads, whatever, school lunch, shit like that. The contentiousness of our county politics is brought on by this group. So I'm anxious to see how this unfolds. So Hambly will get fired, and then she will sue. And then that will add to the long list of things that these people have to defend against. Speaking of suing, do you guys think Jim Harbaugh is going to sue the University of Michigan or whoever else now that you're hearing it here first? His career is over at Michigan. Okay. Some idiots have suggested that if you haven't been following the story about Michigan stealing signs, and I'll explain what that is quote unquote a nothing burger. But no, it's not. A guy by the name of Connor Stallion, I think that's his name, is the guy that worked in the athletic office that would travel to other schools that play Michigan and then use a phone to record the signs that the sidelines puts into the players on the field. So I guess, like, if the players are on the field and they're waiting for the play to be called, somebody on the sidelines is like in baseball, they do the signs, third base or whatever. And then that means something. Well, word started to get around that Michigan is stealing signs. And the lid finally got blown off of this thing last week. And it's fucked up. It's really catching fire. So much so that in last year's NCAA playoff game between Michigan and TCU, who beat Michigan, they announced on Thursday, Yahoo Sports reported actually on Thursday, that TCU knew that Michigan had stolen their signs. And they used that to trick Michigan. They threw up dummy signals at the Wolverines in response, according to unnamed Horned Frog coaches. The dummy signals were old plays that have since been changed. So this is fucking fantastic. Yahoo Sports also reported that multiple coaches from the Big Ten reached out to TCU. So, coach of Wisconsin says, "Hey, TCU, you're playing Michigan. Watch out. They've been doing. Oh yeah, we know already. We heard about it. Iowa called 10 minutes ago. They hang it up. It's Northwestern. Hey, Northwestern. Yeah, the fucking Michigan's gonna. They've stolen your signs. Oh, fucking yeah, we know. Michigan. Fucking Mel Tucker calls up. You can hear him beating off on the other end of the phone. Michigan stole signs. Mel Tucker, pounding his butt. Not only did the Horned Frogs switch up their signals, but they used it to their advantage to trick Michigan. Okay, this fucking sucks. This is absolute bullshit. I kind of hate it because I like watching college football. I like watching especially the big games centered around the playoffs, and Michigan's been having a phenomenal success lately. beating Ohio State twice, and they haven't won the national championship, but they've done very well. So this is just fucking stupid. Now, as of last night, after this scandal unfolds, and it is a scandal, and they are going to be in big trouble, Michigan had been toying with the idea of giving Jim Harbaugh a contract extension. Like, he already has a terrific contract, and I believe he's in year 2 of number 5. Now, when that contract finishes, you want to lock him up for after that. So then the school's like, God, we're having so much success with Jim Harbaugh. Why don't we make him the richest coach in college football and give him even more time and money? So let's extend a contract offer to extend what he's on right now. Sew him up, Last night, it was reported that Michigan yanked the offer. They said, no, you don't get that. Okay, now you tell me. If you're Jim Harbaugh and all of this shit happens, and then the team that is zero support at this point. If they say, let's rethink your contract extension. Because isn't it true that every year Harbaugh fucks around with an NFL team? I mean, that's got to get old. Oh, no. Oh, hail. Hail no. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Harbaugh and the program are in hot water with the NCAA, the governing body for collegiate athletics, which slapped Michigan with multiple level 2 violations earlier this year for impermissible recruiting, improper use of coaches, and watching player workouts on Zoom. So they're like bending the rules. They're breaking the rules there. As part of that investigation, Harbaugh himself facing a level 1 violation for his failure to cooperate. And while Harbaugh served a school-imposed 3-game suspension earlier this year, the latest investigation onto the program, which was just launched on the 18th of October, claims of impermissible in-person scouting of opponents has done more damage to its reputation. Connor Stalions bought tickets to more than 30 games. They even have footage of Stalions in opposing stadiums holding his phone up to record what's going on. I mean, it's like smoking gun type shit. Like irrefutable proof. Not just here, he said, she said. They saw him doing it. In 30 games involving as many as 12 of the Big Ten's 13 other schools. Instructed associates to film opponents' signals on the sideline and paid for their travel. Stalions would receive money and tickets to games for doing this. Harbaugh's denied everything. Holy shit. And then the whole business of, wait a minute, let's rethink this contract extension. Corey says you're doing your signals in front of 30,000 people. How is this cheating? Well, the rules clearly state that if you video through, if you use electronic means to basically do what they did, that in itself is breaking of the rules. Rick says everybody steals signs. This is dumb. Well, I don't know about that. And I don't know that there's actual proof that anyone is stealing anything except Michigan. So if there's 13 schools in the Big Ten and one actually has a folder in the football office on a computer that says stolen signs folder, and then somebody blows the whistle and somebody investigates and finds it, you're fucked. So if everybody steals signs, if that is the case, why is Michigan so stupid to get caught? Corey earlier said learning other teams' signs I don't think is cheating. Well, you're gonna have to take it up with the league. I think that they have said if you acquire them and disseminate that information the way Michigan has been, it is 100% a breaking of the rules. Kyler says that Coach Prime's quote was on point. They could have the whole playbook, but you still have to stop them. Linda says this is great, and I did put 2 hexes on them the last time I was in Ann Arbor. Linda adds, he'll go to the NFL and be done with it. No repercussions for him. Didn't I read something about the NFL would suspend him for something related to this in conjunction? Thought I saw something like that. It just stinks. I think that he's fucking cheating his ass off, and I think he's going to get he's going to be in trouble for this. That's why teams should be trying to change their signs every game, says Corey. Ben Weller says if everybody does it, then Harbaugh sucks at cheating. He's been caught how many times now? Learning signs is not cheating. Video recording them on their campus is. Aram writes, which school is worse now? Michigan State is still much worse than Michigan. Well, I mean, I guess pick your poison. The Michigan State poison is much more volatile than Michigan. Michigan State actually needs to cheat. It should be they should be allowed to cheat. Michigan State. They should be allowed to put like 20 players on the field. Wow. So this is a great big story. Fantastic. For me, I love like when a Michigan State story breaks, you can rub their nose in shit because they're all fucking losers. And then when the Wolverines cheat their ass off because all of their fans are arrogant assholes, I love rubbing their face in shit too. Fuck these guys. What I love the most now about college football is that the players are becoming millionaires. That they can I want it to be where after every game you can leave and go to another team. So every week, it's like a whole new team. It's already like that year by year, you know? You can take some great player that plays for Michigan, and some guy in Auburn says, look, we got tons of hot chicks who want to have an orgy with you, and we're going to give you $1 million a game. Okay, I'm coming to your school. And then the kids don't even have to do homework now. They just say, fuck it, I don't give a shit. Somebody does the homework for them. It's the pros. So awesome. I love this so much. Patrick says, I'd rather play a game and find out that the other team cheated than potentially being raped. And that's the thing. You go to Michigan State and you're going to have some stranger's finger up your ass. That's how it goes with that school. Those guys are even worse. I mean, Michigan may cheat, but at least they're not raping people. Holy shit. Okay, hold that thought. Your old pal EZ is going to, first of all, kick out the people on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Download the entire audio podcast wherever you download shows. Give me a review, please, on Apple Podcasts. And you can follow me on Patreon, too. Get even more content. Patreon.com/Eric Zane, where last week on the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast, we reviewed the first minute or two of Ben's Sports Talk radio show. And oh my God, a new segment is born. Ben actually here in the chat while the show is going on. Ben is actually working. Hold on a second. I think I can actually get the show that Ben is
Right
on.
things. Hey, it's all about whatever the today. That was our approach. It's week to week here in the NFL. Yes.
Wait a minute.
There was all of this talk.
That sounded like Dan Patrick to me. Aren't you on 96.1? Is the show over? I thought the show went till 10. Oh, it ended at 9. Fuck. Sorry, Ben. All right. Don't go anywhere.